Thanks for joining us. Welcome. We are inviting the people that are now in the waiting room, and maybe we should wait a couple of minutes more. But let me start and introduce that this is the second of the webinars proposed in the framework of an European project, MICMAC. The MICMAC is a project funded by Gulbenkian and EMIF. MICMAC is a project related to microlearning to train educators into a cascade approach to media and information literacy. Today is with us Nereida Carrillo. Nereida Carrillo is a PhD journalist in journalism and communications, professor of the Autonomous University of Barcelona, and co-founder of Learn to Check. That is an NGO that promotes media literacy and critical thinking via different strategies and activities that probably today is going to share with us in Spain. This organization has trained more than 900 people in the last 5 years, including, of course, students, teachers, families, and also journalists, librarians, and other stakeholders. Learn to Tech collaborates also with other entities, associations, NGO that are more and more involved in tackling the different problems related to disinformation. That is the topic we are going to tackle today. And she is the author of, I think, one of the good manuals on verification that is Fakeover, and recently included in one of the best books for kids and youngs to combat disinformation. The webinar today is entitled Best Educational Practice to Tackle Disinformation. Just to remind all the participants that this session will be is now recorded and then will be open in the YouTube channel of the project for those who want to watch again or download. Okay. You are more than welcome to write all the questions, suggestions, and doubts during the lecture in the chat box in Zoom. Then these questions will be collected and I'll give your voice to Nereida to discuss different questions invited for you. Nereida, please, you can start when you consider. We are seeing all the participants now, people from Spain, from Portugal. I can see people that are involved in the course that we are open with the MICMAC project. But maybe people came in and trying to enter in during this time. So go ahead, Nereida. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to taking with us today.
Thank you, Maria Jose, for this introduction. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here today with you. Thank you for attending this webinar. So let me share with you my presentation and just let us start this webinar entitled Best Educational Practice to Tackle Disinformation. So disinformation is not only a young people problem, it's everyone problem. But let me start with young people, because when we talk about teenagers and mobile phones, we usually think about a picture like this one. So teenagers addicted to their mobile phones, giving up leisure activities, and being with friends just to be glued to their mobile screens with a never-ending scroll of nonsense videos and disinformation content. But I think the scene could also be like this. And teachers, professors, educators, librarians, families, and all of us, all the community, we can do a lot to encourage, to make this other portrait happen. Do you know her? She's a 17 years old girl called Darnella Frazier. She was using her mobile phone to tell an important story to the world and to make change happen. She won a Nobel Prize for recording the murder of George Floyd due to a police brutality act against a Black man. The video aroused protest and make the world aware of this racism problem and make the world get up to demand more equality and justice. So what's the difference between these two pictures? Not only these two pictures, but what's the difference between these two kind of scenes? I think the difference are three: education, values, and empowerment. I compared these two pictures to tell you something. It's not all bad regarding internet and social media, but we have to be aware of the dangers. We have to learn how to do these tools in a democratic and valuable way. So let me start this webinar with this idea. I think it's very important to take it in mind. We have to make young people, we have to make people aware of the problem of disinformation. But what's more important, we have to tell them you can learn and you can do something about that. So we have to learn young people, we have to learn families, teachers, journalists, librarians, um, middle-aged and elderly people. We have to learn them to identify these dangers, to be aware of this information, to learn how to verify, how to be critical when they are consuming, but also when they are producing contents to social media. And we have to tell them you can do something. You can do something uh, to live in a better world for everybody. You have to act. You can do something to solve this problem. You can do something to make this cyber sphere a more valuable, democratic, and better one. So I think that what the most effective solution, and I'm working about that, is media literacy, media information, um, media media information literacy, information literacy, and media literacy. So how can we understand that? What is media literacy? I like a lot this definition. Is this the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and act using all forms of communication. So it's all this is important to access, because if you don't have the chance to access these tools, you cannot express, you cannot act, you are out of this. So it's important to make that it is important to be sure that every of us has the chance to access. And then critical thinking, you have to analyze, you have to evaluate, you have to learn how to evaluate this source. It is a reliable source or it is not a reliable source. This information, is it bias or not? Is it hate speech? And how must I act with this hate speech? Can I do something? When I create, uh, I must respect author rights. I must do something that is valuable, that is an enriching experience. So we have to take all this in mind. Media literacy as the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and act using all kinds of communication. And just let me go through these 5 laws of media and information literacy from UNESCO just very quickly. Media literacy and information literacy must be for everybody at any time. Is a life-lasting learning. It must to be empowering, and it is for you have to encourage critical thinking, And you have to take in mind that young people and other people must can be also creators. So the learning, the critical thinking is not only to consume critically this content, but also to be a good producer of content, to produce content that is valuable for everyone. So just let me continue with these best practices for media and information literacy to tackle disinformation. And just I like to share with you all the learnings that we have uh, as Learn to Check Association. We have been working with media literacy for everyone to tackle disinformation for all these kinds of audiences for more than 5 years. And I want to share with you what we have learned about that. So this is our 5 must of media literacy to tackle disinformation. First of all, start at the beginning. So you cannot talk about disinformation if you don't talk about information. So that's where we start our lectures, our courses. We start asking young people, asking teenagers, do you get informed? How do you get informed? Because and we make them aware that information is important, and it's not another thing, it's everybody thing, and it's important for your life. And we use example that are understandable and are valuable for them. For example, imagine it is a strike, a bus strike. So you have to know that, and you have to know the new timetables to know which is the bus you have to take to go to your high school. Imagine that. So if you do not know that, it is you are not going to make a valuable, a correct decision in your life. So we have to start by the beginning. We have to make them aware that information is important. And when we talk about them and when we ask them, how do you get informed? We learn that they get informed on TV with their family. So it is a social consumption in families. So families can talk about them, can um, talk about the news and what's wrong, uh, uh, what's right, what's that. We can put context. It is a learning. It is a social conception. But usually they get informed in social media and they are alone in their little with their little screens or mobile phones, and we make them aware about the difference. In TV, uh, before you see the news, it is a professional work. Journalists work with this information, so they verify them, they interview experts, they put context. But in social media, you have everything. You have good information with bad information, verified information with false information, valuable information with hate speech. So you have to be this journalist to sort this information, to put filters and to evaluate this information. So it's important. So start by the beginning, information. Then second advice, stay close. It is use examples that they can understand, but also my advice is that you have to get them involved. So talk about, you cannot talk teenagers about international politics. You have to start with their city, their school, their high school, their peers, their references, the influencers they see. So you have to talk their language. You have to be in their world. And for example, use things like this. For example, when we start a workshop, sometimes I say, thank you for being here. I know you have an important exam tomorrow. So everybody get anxious and goes to the teacher and say, do we have an exam tomorrow? So I told him, so this information. This information makes you feel anxiety, but you have done the right thing is to verify with an official source of a source, an authority to know if this good information or bad information. So use these little games and activities to stay close to them, to use examples they can understand, and get them involved in these experiences. Third advice: use learning by doing. So when we train adults, teachers, university students, it is important to discuss about ideas. But when we work with early age uh, people, early age students, we use learning by doing, we use games. So, for example, you have to do a reverse, an image reverse search. You have to do it and let people see how you are doing all this. So we usually explain them how to verify that. Then we spend a lot of time verifying. We put them some verification challenges, and they have to discuss these challenges in groups, and they have to do that, and they have to exercise, they have to practice. So it is important to practice and to know tools and to do things, and to make people aware it is not so difficult. It is not slowly, it is quick, it is easy. And sometimes it is just stop and think and use what you have learned before and do that. No, so it is important to install this practice mentality to this learning by doing. Four, talk about their experiences. Here you have a picture about one activity we did last year. It was the 9th of May. It is the European Day. It was in Barcelona, in the Plaza Sant Jaume. It's a center square in Barcelona. And we did gincama for young people, for young students about disinformation. And one of the games or one of the activities we did, it was this garbage play. We wanted people, we wanted students, young people, to talk about their experiences about disinformation, what misinformation and disinformation they encounter in social media, what they did about that. So, but with our experience, by our experience, we learn sometimes it is not easy to talk about that, and they are ashamed. So we invented this game. You have to write down um, conspiracy theory, disinformation. You have piece of disinformation you have encountered, and then you have to make a ball and throw it to the garbage. So disinformation to the garbage, and then we open some papers, we read, and we comment. So you have this content, but you don't know who's this paper, and it is very easy to talk about that. And I think it's important to talk about their experiences because they have to learn that when they have problem in social media, it is not only my problem, it's not only his or her problem. It happens to a lot of people. You are not alone, but you have to, the young people usually think they are alone because they are alone with their a little screen. and they are not prepared to, they do not usually talk about that with their parents, with their families, with their teachers. And we have to um, make them confident to do that and to talk and to learn and uh, to make them aware that it's a social problem, it's a social experience, and we have to solve and we have to learn about that as a group. And then finally, play. It is my advice. When we started media literacy trainings, we started with students at the age of 14, but we learned that we have to start earlier. So we start with now we start with students with 12, 11-year-old. And how do we do that? Playing. They play and they learn. And we have a very successful workshop. It is an escape room of disinformation. We make them, we invented this play. So we are all, it is a lockdown because of disinformation. It is very dangerous, this disinformation. So authorities have decided we must to be locked down just before we learn how to verify. So you have to learn how to verify to get your critical thinking card that make us see that you learn how to verify and you are prepared to go everywhere, because now this information is not a danger for you because you know how to verify. So we have some games about geolocalization, about saying if this source is reliable or is not. Also, this play you can see in the picture about who's who in disinformation, in misinformation and disinformation world and sphere. Just let me play you this video. It is our climate escape. It is an escape room about climate disinformation. So just let me show you how we work with all these play and involve students. So I have to stop sharing this screen and just let me share the navigator and put the video. I hope the sound is working.
You are at the Antarctica check base because this is the real center of the world. What happens here affects the climate of the entire planet. You have been chosen from thousands of young people to be part of the good news for the climate project of the International Organization for Nature. As you well know, humanity has already begun to take the steps towards climate change reverse. Yet still there is a threat against this transition. There are some lobbies that do not want to fight climate change. They even deny it. They spread lies and misinformation and create a hostile environment to stop climate change.
Està perjudicant a tots perquè estem fent que no es prenguin les mesures adequades per frenar el canvi climàtic. I qui ho fa això? Doncs per interès, no? Doncs sobretot les indústries relacionades amb el petroli, amb les siderúrgiques, i veieu, aquí heu vist algunes formes d'aquesta desinformació. Una és això, no? El negacionisme. Negar que el canvi climàtic existeix.
That's why you're here. Your mission is to train yourself to combat the lies about climate change. If you can pass the tests, you will leave here as a real eco-fake catcher.
determinats gasos que estan en excés, aquests gasos provoquen que el planeta s'escalfi. Què és el que hem fet avui aquí? És un dels efectes que té un excés d'un dels gasos que provoquen aquest escalfament, que és el diòxid de carboni. El que hem fet ha sigut una simulació. Nosaltres no podem posar diòxid de carboni a dintre de l'aigua perquè el diòxid de carboni és un gas. I el que hem fet ha estat agafar un altre àcid, hem agafat àcid acètic, que és vinagre. Si el diòxid de carboni acidifica els oceans, aquestes petxines es desfan, es fan molt bé. Doncs hi ha una manera de comprovar quanta matèria orgànica hi ha en un sòl, que és agafar aigua oxigenada i fer una reacció química. És veure com un component de la matèria orgànica reacciona amb l'aigua oxigenada i produeix oxigen. Doncs es considera que el terra, quanta més matèria orgànica tingui, vol dir que més s'ha produït aquesta absorció d'excés de diòxid de carboni.
I després també hi ha discursos, narratives retratistes que el que volen és que no es prenguin amb urgència les mesures adequades. I què feu vosaltres, no? Si intenteu contrastar aquesta informació o no, no? Perquè, per exemple, una de les coses que hem de fer és avaluar la font, saber si una font és fiable o no és fiable, no? Perquè no ens hem de creure tot que ens arriba a través d'internet o d'altres mitjans.
The fight to save the planet is not only about reducing pollution, but also by fighting misinformation. We trust you.
So it is an important idea. We trust you. We trust you to do all things. So this is our, just let me share the presentation again. So you have a scientific experimentation, you have exercises to sort the reliable sources or not, and you have then when we all these, you have the seeds, no? The when you finish, you have this award, no? The tools to combat disinformation as books and knowledge, and also the seeds to plant a better planet. And we end with this idea: we trust you, we are going to help you, we are going to learn and do all this together. So just very quickly, let me talk about this. What does the necessary learning, source evaluation, to sort fact from opinion, information from advertising, and also how to reliable information and identify bias and hate speech in social media. So very quickly, some inspirational educational experiences, and then I am happy to admit your questions or your comments and to do some minutes of discussion about all that. Just one idea I want to make clear also is that we have to start in early ages. So this is a call
of students, and this is where is Bruna? So the boys and girls are worried because one of their partners is not coming to school, so they start to imagine bad things that could happen to her. Maybe she has broke his arm, maybe an ambulance, maybe, and then they realize that just the little clock didn't sound, and the little girl is late. But they realized they started to be worried, and they started to spread rumors about
Sorry
that.
to interrupt you, Nereida. I think your voice is going to let down, and we can hear you very clearly.
No?
Since the beginning of this slide,
Okay, so I'm going to see. I think my headphones are not working
yeah,
anymore, but
yeah, at this I think so, because we can hear you, but very low, and I think it's
okay.
happening.
Can you hear me now? No?
Yeah, Yeah, we can hear you, but slow.
Okay. So let me see what I can do.
Or just continue, but more close to the computer because I think it's
Okay. Okay. So just continue, and I'm going to speak a little bit loud. It is better now.
yes,
Okay.
continue, but it's too loud, too loud.
Okay. So I'm going to share the presentation again. Okay. Just let me go to the slide. We were talking about some inspirational educational experiences. So, yeah, Bruna. So it is to work with 7 or 6-year-old students, and this is a comic from a magazine from younger students, and the story. This tells a story about a girl that didn't go to the school, and their partners started to worry and to imagine what could happen to her. So again, guys, they were worried, and they started to spread some rumors and bad things about their partner. Um, and in the end, what happened is just that the clock didn't sound, and the girl was late. So it is a good start to talk about disinformation and misinformation with about partners, about relations. For example, when some students fight or get mad with some other students, just talk about that, about this idea. But have you verified that this happened? Have you verified that she really told something wrong about you or not? You have to verify the story. You have to go to the source. So these are ideas to start working about disinformation, and then in a little sphere in the relations with other people, and then you have to build more knowledge about that and go to international politics maybe, but you have to start with some ideas and some concepts when they are little kids. This is a game about with fake ovaries, create your conspirational machine. So in that way, you realize that conspirational theories are fiction. You can even make create your own conspirational theory. So it is a game to think about that. This is a project we make with UNICEF. This is about digital rights. This is about to make young students aware that disinformation is harming our rights, our digital rights, kids' rights. So we have to learn how to verify and to do something about that to protect our rights. So in this project, it's a train the trainers. We train teachers, then teachers train their students, and then we all together do something about that. You have to act. Once you have learned, you have to do something for your community. So students make a podcast about disinformation, or a social media campaign for their families, for their towns, their cities, their villages, or some game to spread knowledge about disinformation and how it is harming their rights, and they protect their rights, and they defend their rights. So this is you can go to the link because this presentation is going to be delivered to you. And this is an explanation about how an art teachers, um, art teachers tackle the disinformation by making some thinking and some artistic expression about that. Another experience, we also work with librarians, and they are very important to tackle and to combat disinformation. So they made activities like reading clubs and workshops to tackle disinformation. And this is an important work together, librarians with teachers, journalists with teachers, and it's also an idea to tackle disinformation. And this is an initiative for adult people, for people in their 70s, 80 years old, like that. This is Bulobus, is more or less a fake bus. This is a bus that and drive through Spain. It is from Maldita, an important Spanish fact checkers. So it was driving for different cities in Spain, also small cities, rural cities, and then they put an information point to advise how to verify and to learn elderly how not to be cheated by these messages on internet, on WhatsApp or on Telegram, and also with theaters and things like that to talk about disinformation and to make people aware of this problem. And also, just very quick, I want to tell you about this project. They are very useful, very important projects around the world about disinformation. In Portugal, I know we have a lot of Portuguese people, so Vitor Tomé and his association is doing a very good job with working together, teachers, journalists, and also tackling the problem of populism and hate speech in social media. This is another experience, near literacy project. It is in the States, in the United States, and they have a tool you can use. It's ecology. It's in English, something in Spanish also. You have lessons, and they work also together, journalists and teachers. This is like Detectors. It is also an independent and award-winning media literacy organization in Europe. And they work with children, they work with teachers, they provide teacher training seminars and workshops, and they do fantastic work about critical thinking and disinformation. You can go to this their page to learn more about their project and their experiences. And then something more. I have my presentation is not working.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you finished? Okay, Nereida. Or are you going to say another?
I haven't finished but my presentation is not working. So
Okay. No. Try to check, try
finish
to
now.
fix it, and also your audio, because we can hear you very it's very low. It's very low. Okay. So I'm going to make a short wrap up of your presentation
Okay.
while you are doing your checks. Okay. I think this is your experiences are very important, because for sometimes the problem is to understand that this information is operates not only in social media, and is a problem for all ages. So all the experience and the activities you saw and you share with us today give us the clue on how to adapt, for example, with the small children, and how to make them aware of the importance of discriminate in between what is information, how to get more information, the reasons to be informed and well informed, how to check for information, and those ways of involve them in, I think it's a solution society. It's very important that we give this message. We trust you. We all need to combat this information. And with this project of UNICEF, I think this is a very important message. No, that the right to be informed and not disinformed is especially important for all the people, for small generations that have to tackle with this information. And it's very important to being aware of the hate speech, the problems of critical thinking, and also the different experience that you present to us related to critical thinking. I didn't know about the technology, and I'm very impressed about this activity. The bulo bus, the fake bus you presented from Maldita. I think it's a good strategy to give voice different communities. And one of the most the activities most I like that I think more people invited here are teachers that can try to adapt or put into practice in the class are I like it. The most I like it is how to create your conspirational machine. Because conspirational theories and disinformation is created by us with different objectives. And also, if we can understand that conspirational theories can be created by all of us, we can think on the other people can create it, and we must be aware of this. Nereida, are you fixed the problems?
Yes, I think I have fixed the problems. Do you hear me better? No?
No, we still hear you,
Okay.
but
So I'm going to leave just a minute and enter again the meeting.
meanwhile, all of us that are here, please feel free to give some comments or questions, because Nereida has a lot of experience as she can share with us different projects, the one that already presented, or maybe all other questions. Okay, so feel free to put all the questions in the checkbox and during these minutes, and then I can give you voice after, and after that Nereida is coming with us. Okay. Um, uh, so I can see that some people is raising the hands for this moment, but I think the audio is not working in this style of webinar. So please use the
Yes,
checkbox and write the question.
sorry, she's unmuted. Zulima,
Yeah.
you can speak.
Okay.
Hello, I don't know if you can hear me properly.
Yes, 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 yes.
Just to take the words or the chance to thank a lot Micmac for having this researcher helping us to understand how there are a lot of different mechanisms to work with young people to combat misinformation. And I think the activities that she presented, they clarify very well how we could work in a very easy way and connective with young students and young people to help them to analyze how misinformation affects problematics that they are very, very important for them and for us, but especially for future generations, like climate change. And I think the activity she shows, it was very impressive. And what I really like from the methodology is that you don't know from the very beginning that you are going to deal with misinformation, but suddenly you get involved in fact checking. So I just want to thank you in the meanwhile until she connects for the organization and the very good presenter that we have today. Thank you a lot.
Thanks, Lima. I think
Thank you.
Nereida is with us. Nereida?
Yes, thank you very much. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for this technical problem, but I'm very happy to be here with you, and I hope you have enjoyed the presentation.
Yes, we are trying to give some ideas, the most impressive and the most useful for maybe teachers that are joined and are with us in this webinar, that your ideas, your experience, your activities that you share with us are very practical and to put it in practice with our class. So maybe anyone here can give some ideas or maybe write in the chat box. No? Nereida, you were trying to share at your screen to share another activity, or because you finished? No?
Sorry, I couldn't open my audio. Yes, I can. I'm open to questions and to debate, and also if you wanna learn everything, something more about our experience. I think it is very useful to work with young people because we are working also with all the family. For example, just want to share with you one young student that participated in this UNICEF project.
Yes.
She told us, "Oh, I'm going to learn my father because when he returns home from work, he showed me this and that about a WhatsApp group with with their mates, and it's just suspicions. But I don't know. I didn't know how to tell him so and how to verify. And now I learn. So I'm going to learn my father. I'm going to learn my family. This is also important that we have in mind when we are teachers. We are not only teaching young people, we are teaching their families and other peoples, because also they are their technological reference in families. So make them not only a technological reference for buttons and for apps, but also for content and for critical thinking with social media and these digital tools. I think
Yes.
it's
This is
important to keep in
a
mind.
good approach, Nereida. Thank you, because especially because this cascade approach that ones teach each other and the spread of this combat to information is precisely the focus of the MICMAC project. So very nice. I'm going to give the voice to Francesca. Yes, Francesca, go ahead.
Just a second. Yes, just to inform you that we have a question
Yes.
asked by Lima, was it difficult to convince students to participate? And also one more, which is, how did they react after the activities?
Okay. No, in fact, sometimes when we finish the escape room activity,
they don't want to go to another class. They want to remain playing and learning this way, and they are very, very involved. They are very happy. I have to say we have the help of teachers, and also they work in groups, and it is teachers that teachers know them well, so they make the groups, so they are uh, you have students that knows a lot of things, students that learn more slowly, so you have the same groups, and they work in group, and then when they finish, it is not only a game. When they finish, we have a talk. We discuss how you have done it, how this other group has done this other activity. So you learn. It is a process you can do in many ways, and also you learn something. This SARS, it and in the beginning, I thought it was a reliable source, but then I realized it wasn't. And how I realized, and we talk about that, and we learn them also other tools they haven't used, but they can learn. And we talk about their experiences and what are they going to do after. And I think it's very useful. What we learn is that first of all, they are aware of this problem. Then they are going to consume social media in more critical way,
Yes.
and they are using that with experiences, and also they are going to do something about that. For example, one day I was talking to a student, and I asked him, "What are you going to do if you encounter some disinformation? What do you usually do if you encounter disinformation in social media?" And he gave me a very interesting answer. He told me, "I gave up following this account. So I'm not giving my attention to this account, to this person who is spreading social media, because it's that what he wants. I'm not going to say, oh, this is false, oh, this is false, oh, and start a fighting. So I'm going to give up following. So I'm saying you are not having my attention anymore. And if more people like me do that, it is not sense you continue spreading this information because you don't have our attention." So I think it's interesting, and I think it's
Sure. Yes.
yes.
Is a big message that this information is for everyone. And I'm going to share with you because in the chat box, Miana, our colleague from Portugal, is telling us that Portuguese teachers sharing that there's some concerns in the use of social media relating to this information. And this is the experience that you're telling us. This is important because, as you said, the use of social media is lower and lower, and they are not trained to use social media very well because they use for entertainment, but not to get very well informed or with reliable information. And also, Noelia, our colleague from Spain, also is telling us an interesting question. So that how to train students and to be very proactive actors, because once you have the training and all the experience you are sharing with us, how to get a next level to convince to maybe this approach of cascade and spread and be a trustful resource. How do you, Nereida, what do you think? This is
Yeah.
important.
Yes, it's important that they are proactive. Another project I wanted to show you before I had technical problems, but I'm going to deliver the presentation is MediaWise. So they learn young people how to verify, but then they make videos and they spread videos in social media where a student explains how to verify a piece of news, how to verify an image, how to verify a video. So it is important to make them proactive. It is true they usually use social media for entertainment, not for information. But when if they get informed, they use social media to get informed, and it is no problem. You can inform by social media, but just you have to do it with reliable sources. So we have to work with that, and we must make them proactive and involve them. So you have to, I think the important thing is to end with an activity, with something practice and something that has an impact out of the class, no? With the families, the communities. They have, for example, they learn how to verify, and they're going to explain that for in elderly association, or for students that are younger than them. They have to do something, so they get involved in the if we can involve them in small spaces, then they are going to do that by their own in social media or in other spheres and spaces.
It's more than social media problem. I think it's a
Yes.
value that everyone needs to be educated for. Miana, our colleague, is asking if you can tell us a practice on social media with young people, and specifically the role of teachers, because it is true that you said a lot of experience that you train, but what is exactly the role of teachers assisting this kind of experience or activities?
Yes, for example, in social media, you can do two exercises. With fake over, for example, with some teachers, we work to identify the misinformation they encounter in social media. So they read in fake over which are the types of disinformation and misinformation, and then they search for some examples in their social media accounts. And another activity, for example, we did it in the UNICEF project, is to create a social media campaign. So you, as a teacher, you work a lot of things, because you work, for example, with this advertising language. You work how to create, how to explain an idea, a concept, how to write, or writing, but also oral expression, and also how to behave in the camera, how to explain an idea, how to work in group. You learn collaboration. So you are working a lot of aspects, and also image rights. You cannot use images you have not the right to use, and then how to spread it, how to search the information to create a script for the video. I think it is you can work a lot of things as a teacher. And then also there are some projects that are international. So you work with disinformation, and then there are some other teachers in other countries that they work the same topic, and then the students collaborate, and you realize this information is not so different, it is the same. and you work with that, and you can also learn languages. You can do a lot of work as a teacher. There are a lot of learnings to do along with disinformation and how to verify information. And also, for example, in our web, we have resources, no matter if you are science teacher, a math teachers, language teacher, a philosophy teachers, you can embed the disinformation topic anyway.
Thanks, Nereida. There's another more questions. I can see. I think people from Portugal is joining us because of the difference in hours in the schedule. But I think if one more questions, if anyone can say anything else, or maybe because I cannot see in the chat box more. No, there's no more, and there's no more raised hands. I don't think. No. Just to finish, Nereida, I think the experience you shared with us are very impressive, are very, we can learn a lot with your ideas. And to finish, as a last question, what do you think on this relevance on the take on this information? Do you think that this information need to be an special subject inside of the curriculum? And because we talk about media literacy, do you think that the disinformation problems need to be so relevant to introduce a subject as a media literacy inside on the curriculum of the different educational systems? You are a journalist, but I think it's a very, very political question. But if you have some ideas, thank you for sharing.
Thank you. It is a very interesting question. We have this debate in Catalonia, in Spain, if media literacy have to be a subject, if who is going to teach that? Journalists are going to do that, teachers, and I don't know. I think. Yeah, because Journalist Association in Catalonia thinks it must be a subject, and journalists have to teach that, and then now the curriculum in Spain it's a transversal competence. I think we cannot lose the time debating, and we have to do that now. And I think if it can be a subject, it's fine, but you can also work with this information, no matter if you are a teacher of language or science or maths. But nowadays it is not strategical. It's not for everyone. It is not properly embedded in the classroom. So we have to do that, and it has to be now. It has to be for everyone, and it has to be strategical. And teachers and also governments have to make it happen. So I think it's good if we.
Yeah, it's the final goal. I think all this educational practice, best practice, the projects you share, and the different institutions, NGOs, associations that's working with fact checkers on this information, I think the final goal is to introduce this media literacy to get the relevance that needs. Okay, so we're out of time, but if I just want to thank you, Nereida, for giving all these ideas and this best educational practice that you share today with us. This recording will be uploaded to the YouTube channel of MICMAC. All of attendees here and maybe other people that you can spread this video to combat disinformation and use these resources that Nereida is sharing with us. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for your questions and for your participation. And I don't know if Francesca just want to say another important thing to, because this is the second webinar, and I guess you can be involved in the third webinar that needs to be in a week or so. San Francesca, just one. Francesca?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Hi, everyone. Yes, there will be another webinar. We will send out the information via the project social media. For those who have enrolled in the MICMAC course, the information will also be shared in the announcement sections of the various courses. And this information will be shared very soon once we have finalized the definition of the exact time for the next webinar. Okay?
Thank you, Francesca, and thank you for all that join us. Thank you for coming, and a special thank you to Nereida. Nereida, thanks
Thank you.
for sharing.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for attending this webinar, and thank you for your interest in media literacy and disinformation. It was a pleasure.
Okay, thank you for joining us.
Shalom,
We keep in
Nereida.
touch. Thank you. Thank you. We can close.
Bye, everyone.
Just stop the recording. Thank you.